Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Nancy Horwick, oil painter here at OVA Gallery.
Tell me about your favorite medium.
Oil, definitely. Although I started painting with acrylics, moved on to oils and spent a lot of time just painting oils, but now I'm moving back into acrylic and adding collage and mixed media. So I'm doing a lot of different things now. And yet I learned a lot from doing oil painting, and from doing everything, it helps.
How long have you been painting?
Painting about 20 years. So this is my next career after teaching and after all the other work I did when I was young.
Do you have any mentors?
Yes, Kim Smith, a local Ojai artist here, is wonderful. So she took me into her studio and taught me so much. I just really appreciate her. She still teaches children. She's a docent at the Santa Barbara Art Museum. She's wonderful, but she was a great teacher. She made me not afraid. Yeah.
When and why did you fall in love with painting?
I think I've always loved color and design. So it was just kind of a natural thing, you know how one thing leads to another. And it was more because I was teaching elementary school and I wanted to know more about art and be a better teacher of art for the kids. And I got sucked into it for myself. And I'm so glad it happened that way. I was ready, the timing was right.
What techniques do you prefer?
I paint in stages, so I usually have 3 or 4 pieces going at a time. So while one is resting or drying, I then go on to the next one. And sometimes you just need to let a piece sit and it'll pop into your mind what to do next. So I do things in stages and in layers. And I love that part of it, to see it emerge.
How would you describe your art?
I guess pretty traditional, yet I've been told I have a really definite style, so I don't try to copy anybody, but I do think there's enough in nature itself to draw out the beauties. I've tried doing abstract, which are fun. I'm getting better at it, but I really am more drawn to the light on the objects, how it travels, and how you can convey that on a 2-dimensional surface. Make it 3-dimensional. That's fascinating to me.
And would you say your personality is reflected in your art?
Insofar as I love color, I always have, and I guess the peacefulness and balance and symmetry of nature, so that's more what I'm drawn to. I'm not into explosive art. I can appreciate it, but it's not what I do.
Describe your favorite piece of art you've ever created.
Oh my goodness. Because this is a photographic print.
Of the painting.
The painting was an 18 by 24.
And someone bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful photograph a friend took in Croatia on a street in Dubrovnik of children right after the rain sliding down the alleyway on these cobblestone, not cobblestone, but like big block stone. And it's just the most wonderful photograph, just caught a moment in time, and when the person who bought it just took her back to her childhood. How kids are so free and they find play in anything. So that's my favorite so far.
What sets you apart from artists using this medium?
Oh gosh. Well, I do like the saturated colors. I do like the movement and showing how the wind and light affects things. I just think maybe it's more my paintings seem to have personality, and when people buy them, they say that they speak to them. So it's people who are in harmony with me, probably.
Did you always want to be an artist?
When I was younger, I wanted to be an anthropologist, and I also wanted to be a veterinarian, but those didn't work out. But I do love art, and it didn't really occur to me until I had that wonderful mentor, and I really enjoyed painting. She just made me do it. She made me do that first show, and after that I was hooked. So there you go.
Where do you find inspiration?
All around, all around. We live in such a beautiful place. And I can look out the front door of this gallery and see a possible painting right there. There's the light hitting the top of the pergola and the light in the background under the trees. That would be a nice painting. There's everywhere you go.
What's your favorite time of day to create?
Oh, not too early in the morning. I'm more probably early afternoon. I've had my tea and I've woken totally up, and then I can go out there and spend a few hours. And that's my dream situation. I have my own studio now, and it's my place. I just love it.
How do you continue developing your art skills?
Oh gosh, I take workshops. Last weekend I took a workshop painting gourds, and last month I took a class of weaving. So, and all these things will eventually work their way somehow into probably a painting. You just got to keep trying things. You never know what's going to happen.
Has your style changed over time?
Oh yes, oh definitely, yeah, definitely. I really want to paint looser and more lively. I'm always working to that end, and I look at some of my early paintings and they're okay, but they don't have the life that I think some of my work now does. And hopefully the work in the future will have even more.
How much time does it take to finish a piece?
Well, actually the funny thing is some paintings paint themselves in 2 days, not 6 hours. Other paintings take months of reflection and observation and sitting back and going back and trying this and trying that. That's one thing about oils, it's forgiving. So you don't like something, you can paint over it, you can change angles, you can do all kinds of things. That's a really good thing about oils.
What gives you the most joy?
Oh gosh, a lot of things. But in painting, it's when somebody, like I said, it speaks to somebody somehow. There's something that reaches out and grabs them when they walk by, and I love that.
What are you working on in the moment?
Okay, I'm starting, I don't do a lot of florals, but I'm starting another piece of Manila hot poppies, but I have a friend who has a ranch in Arizona, and he's showing me some, I also just finished a beautiful, the Arizona cliffs with a big, I think they call it a dead man's oak, and the roots are coming out all gnarly out of the ground. I love that look. And there's also a Santa Barbara, it's a baobab tree, and if you look at it a certain way, the roots come out at you like that. So I love, they're a little different perspective. So those two things are going to be my next pieces.
What advice would you give your younger self?
What advice? Gosh. Be more adventurous. Try more. Go more places. Travel earlier in life. I really didn't start traveling until I was in my 30s, and I wish I had when I was much younger. But now I've had a chance. I've been to China and all over Europe and Scandinavia, all over now. But I wish I had done it earlier. Especially the way the world has changed. There's some areas that are more difficult to go to now that I think I would have loved to have seen back then. Yeah.
Thank you.